Let me tell you, there's a special kind of crazy you never expect to see at 2 a.m. unless you've spent time in the military, and trust me, I've seen my share, but nothing could have prepared me for the night Brenda Patterson and her circus crew smashed in the door of my lakeside cabin, screaming, "Tonight will be the end for you and your son." Picture this quiet night, the lake calm as glass. Then all hell breaks loose, boots, flashlights shouting, and Brenda in her blood-red suit waving legal-looking papers like she's leading a revolution. And what do they do next? They call 911 on us, reporting me and my own son as intruders in our home. Yeah, that actually happened. But here's what Brenda didn't know. The man she was trying to bully out was me, David Mitchell, and the kid beside me was my son Marcus, a Navy SEAL who could probably outthink and outshoot half the town. Blue Pine Lake was our sanctuary, a place my late wife Sarah and I poured every dream into, and Marcus was home on leave for the first time in almost a year. We'd been up late fire crackling talking about Sarah, and for a second it felt like she was there, her scent, her laughter echoing off the old cabin walls. Then came the headlights, the shouting, the sound of boots on gravel. Marcus slipped into operator mode so fast it made my head spin, peeking through the curtains, whispering, "Dad, we've got company and it's not the friendly kind." Before I could even get off the couch, the front door exploded inward splinters, yelling a clipboard held high like it was Excalibur. Brenda stormed in with 3 enforcers guys who looked like Craigslist rejects, each one sizing up our stuff like they were already picturing it in their own living room. She starts yelling about HOA property emergency reclamation acts and how we're trespassers on our own land. I tried to explain 15 years deed mortgage the works, but she's already dialing the cops, reporting 2 armed dangerous men. I looked at Marcus and he just nodded, staying calm, eyes scanning the room, already reading the threat. While we waited for Sheriff Rodriguez, Brenda's sidekick Chelsea was measuring our walls with what looked like a kid's plastic ruler, announcing we were 3 centimeters off county records. "That's a code violation," she crowed like she'd struck gold. Meanwhile, Brenda sprawled in Sarah's recliner and told us we had 48 hours to clear out, that by tomorrow night we'd just be another lesson for people who don't understand property law. The sheriff came, read through Brenda's stack of official-looking documents, seals, signatures, the works. He looked as lost as I felt, but told us, "Everyone go home tonight. Let's sort this out." Brenda handed me a card, gold foil, real estate queen, like she was the hero in this story. When Marcus and I were alone, he pulled me aside, said, "Dad, something's way off." She knew I was armed. She came too prepared. That's when I realized my boy wasn't just a soldier, he was an investigator. While I lay awake staring at the ceiling, Marcus was up all night digging for answers, hacking through layers of their scam with skills I didn't even know he had. Morning came and he'd already mapped out their operation audio-video backgrounds. Turns out Brenda wasn't some random HOA president gone mad. She was a serial scam artist, and Chelsea, who claimed to be her sister, was nothing but an old drama class partner in crime. They'd stolen 4 properties in 2 years across 3 counties, always targeting the vulnerable military families, widows, people whose guard was down. Twist of fate, right? Because the next knock on our door brought Sheriff Rodriguez again. Brenda in tow, but this time with a so-called lawyer who barely glanced up from his phone. More legal jargon, more papers. Threats of professional removals, settlement offers for improvements, but the whole act was rehearsed fake from top to bottom. Chelsea kept up her measuring act, and the lawyer played along, but Marcus caught it all. Every lie, every detail. He handed me a recording device, told me to keep it running. "Dad, their whole show is falling apart. We just need proof." But you know what really blew my mind? Later that afternoon, Eleanor Walsh, our neighbor, 3 cabins down, showed up. Sweetest old lady you ever met, casseroles, birthday cards, the works. Only turns out Eleanor spent 40 years as a federal agent specializing in white-collar crime. and she'd been tracking Brenda and Chelsea for months. She laid out photos, files, financial trails, everything. These women weren't amateurs. They bribed a clerk at the county office, forged real documents, recruited men with criminal records as muscle. Eleanor knew their entire playbook and had friends in federal law enforcement ready to pounce. That night, our cabin turned into a command post, Marcus setting up military-grade cameras, Eleanor running surveillance, and me, well, I was just trying to keep my hands from shaking. Marcus mapped out every inch of the property, planned for every what-if, and Eleanor coordinated backup with the FBI, the county sheriff, even the postal inspector, because of all the mail fraud. We knew Brenda would come back, and this time she'd bring her enforcers. And sure enough, 2 a.m. rolled around. 3 vehicles' headlights off, 6 men fanned out around our property. Brenda and Chelsea barking orders from the shadows. Marcus whispered, "Showtime, Dad." The first sound was Brenda shrieking at our door, 45 seconds to surrender or else, then the sledgehammer. The door blew open, hired muscle rushed in, grabbing furniture, Sarah's rocking chair, family photos, every violation you can imagine. Brenda strutted in costume crown and red cape, declaring it a legal eviction. Chelsea kept up the measuring tape routine, but everyone knew the jig was up. I stood by the fireplace, pleaded one last time. "This is my home. I have the documents," Brenda sneered. Irrelevant. Her men pushed me aside, but then came Marcus's voice, cold and clear from the loft rifle, ready. "Everyone stop moving. You're under citizen's arrest for armed robbery and home invasion." The thugs froze. Chelsea screamed, bolted through the screen door, skirt ripped. Brenda stumbled and fell into Sarah's flower bed. And just like that, the big bad wolves turned tail and ran. And then sirens. Law enforcement from every direction. Eleanor strode up, flashed her retired FBI badge, handed over her case files, recording surveillance, every crime documented in real time. Chelsea broke down crying in the mud. Brenda lay moaning in the petunias. Both caught red-handed, and Eleanor's evidence led straight to the corrupt county clerk, the fake lawyer, and half a dozen other conspirators. Within 2 weeks, Brenda was headed for federal prison, 12 years, no parole. Chelsea got 8 after turning over every bit of evidence, and the judge made it clear targeting military families would get you the book thrown at you. Our cabin, once just a family dream, became a retreat for veterans and a symbol of what happens when good people fight back. Neighbors came together, rebuilt what those criminals broke, and Sarah's vision of a place for peace and healing lived on. 6 months later, Brenda's sending rambling letters from prison, still playing the victim, still convinced she's the hero. Eleanor laughs, Marcus helps other veterans, and I sit on the porch in Sarah's rocking chair, watching my son teach neighborhood kids to fish, knowing we did right by her memory. But here's the part I hope sticks with you. If someone ever tries to take what you love with fake authority and legal scare tactics, don't roll over. Stand your ground, build your community, and don't be afraid to fight back smart. There's always more to the story, and justice has a way of showing up, even if it's late. So what do you think? Were we right to fight the way we did, or should families just move on and let the system handle it? Drop your thoughts below hit. Like, if you believe in standing up for what's right, and subscribe if you want more stories where justice actually wins. Because in this world, sometimes you have to write your own ending.